All right. So, greetings, dear Taurus. That is you. This is Tarot Lumination with your June 2018 mini love and relationship, kind of a generic report. Okay. You've probably seen these before. If you're new to the channel, I'll just give you the spiel because I have to, because we always get new visitors. I'm sorry for the regulars, but I need to do that. We're going to use a crucible spread here. It's on the understanding that a crucible is a very strong structure that can withstand the intense pressures of alchemy and, let's say, like chemical reactions, like they use them in laboratories. Crucibles are real things. And this spread is designed on the understanding that there's you, dear Taurus, there's a significant other, and there's a third entity called the relationship itself. And in a deeply loving relationship, both parties invest in the relationship, they nurture the relationship, and they conduct themselves through the relationship. Before we get into it, I'm going to give you a couple of astro notes, because I've been doing it for all the other signs this month, because it's kind of a turbulent month. There's a lot of activity happening. All the planets are very evenly placed around, and they're moving freely and openly. Even the retrogrades are spaced out, so it gives a lot of room for each planet to express itself in its own unique way, as opposed to how we had the heavy clusters in Pisces and May. Taurus recently, very, very tight clusters of energy where everything's piled up on top of itself. Makes it harder to understand. So everything is kind of in the open now. So here we go. I'll just give you my own personal list. This is just private material I'm sharing with you. May 30th, June 1st and 2nd, right at the beginning of the month. Big, fat, grand water trines. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Very, very supportive, comfortable for you, Taurus. Simultaneously, the Capricorn, Cancer opposition. Very good for coming into awareness in a very protected environment. So that's very nutritious for you, Taurus, here coming into June. I know it's Gemini season, that's the sun type energy and stuff, but there's so much other stuff that goes on in the background just besides the sun, okay? Let's go to the next thing over here of consequence, June 10th. I'm going to give you all the calendar dates here in just a second. I'll do a quick overview first. Heavy T-squares and oppositions. There's a heavy T-square between Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus right in the middle. So you're going to feel this, all right? It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, okay? Also, the Capricorn Cancer opposition is there, but that's actually kind of wholesome, supportive for you. Going through the rest of the month, we have a lot of active T-squares back and forth, on and off, in and out, being triggered by the Moon and Venus and Mercury, Sun and Neptune. And so I can't possibly show it all to you here, but one of the key things here is that Mars is in hard square to Taurus. Mars in Aquarius is in hard square to Uranus in Taurus pretty much the whole month. That's a very, very tough, challenging angle. It's very volatile. It's very combative. It makes people prone to spontaneous outbursts. Things like anger, uncontrolled anger, are easy to be expressed in those times. So it requires a lot of diligence and self-control to be able to handle some of these energies, and it's ongoing through the whole month, okay? Also towards the 21st here, we have another hard T-square with Scorpio and Leo, but this time, with Aquarius and Leo, but this time Scorpio is in the middle. You'll see it towards the end of the month, okay? And around the 23rd, things get very choppy because there's more or less by sign, a big, fat, grand square, and it's fixed, okay? So that's Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. So you're going to feel all this stuff. And then right at the end of the month, the big Aquarius, Leo, T-square is being amplified again. So it's choppy, on, off, on, off, on, off, in, out. And then at the end of the month, we drift into the Cancerian energy, which is very comfortable for you. But underneath all this stuff, please think of this as like, there's the solar weather. There's Gemini sun doing what it does, but there's a lot of rip tides and rip currents going on underneath the surface. If you think of all the planets and all the energy and how they move in waves, okay? So please allow for this, Taurus. Some of it's very nutritious and comfortable and supportive for you. Some of this can be very choppy, very, very challenging, and it's all happening at once. So it means that, you're being asked to be extremely alert, very aware, very, very responsible about your energy management. I like to think of it as energy management. How you manage your personal energy, to take ownership for what is it that you are radiating, okay? And what is it that you are absorbing? In other words, what are you transceiving? If you think of yourself as a transceiver. Sorry, I babbled on a bit, but I'm trying to give you, some advance notice so that you don't just go crashing through the month and ranting and raving and end up like a piece of roadkill. It doesn't have to happen. You can learn so much and grow so much from these challenging circumstances. All right, cards were well shuffled in advance, but I'm going to go to the last second so that you're a witness. And then we're going to pull the spread, okay? Now, singles, you can watch this if you want to, but you have to allow for the laws of attraction in action and understand that the universe can be like a mirror. So you're going to be radiating energy, and what does that mean? What is the possibilities of what you might get reflected back to you? So think of it as like a what-if reading if you want, if you're a single. Otherwise, this is for chosen relationships, okay? So here we go. You'll see in just a second. Here we go. Thank you, Taurus, for your patience. I know you're very patient, but I know you want your reading too. So let's just go for it. Here we are. Okay. Please bring your angels in, okay? I've got mine here. Tarot Lumination is working like a team, all right? So this would be your love energy. Think of yourself as a cell phone. You're always radiating, transmitting energy. You're always receiving. So the question is, what is that? Especially in the context of love and relationship. Over here would be the energy of a significant other. Same thing. Over here, deep into the heart and soul of you. Over here, deep into the heart and soul of the other. And at the very core, the foundation, the relationship itself. So can you see here the crucible? This is the structure in which you are conducting your relationship in ways that you can intimate and separate and enjoy all the joy and all the challenges simultaneously. And just because you have a rough time doesn't mean everything's going to blow up. You have this, okay? And in a deeply loving relationship, both parties invest very heavily in the relationship itself. Here's the momentum. And over here, we're going to look at circumstantial energy. Call it the weather. All this stuff out here that we just talked about, these kind of things, your environment, your people, your day-to-day challenges, whatever it is that's coming at you. So you have the Hierophant. So my feeling here is that you might be feeling at a very, very, very deep, profound level something to do with this new ingress of Uranus into Taurus. This is you, Taurus. Uranus is moving into Taurus. It has just moved. We're kind of still through the gateway period. It's going to be going on for months, just the process of moving through the gateway. And simultaneously, that movement at the 0 degree point of Uranus and Taurus is under extreme pressure from 0 and very low degrees of Mars and Aquarius. So there's a lot of pressure happening at the same time as the ingress, okay? So, and that's coming right at you, Taurus, okay? So you might be under duress. You might be feeling like you're under a lot of pressure at the moment, where radical shifts and changes could be happening out of the blue at any time. The Uranus energy is very spontaneous and radical. Think of earthquakes, lightning, sinkholes, volcanoes, landslides, tsunamis, all those kind of big, very, very powerful nature things. It's all shifting and changing around you. And from my perspective here, when I felt the Hierophant, my first gut feelings are that you are starting to perceive a whole new code of life, a completely new, it's like a complete reboot of your life from a new perspective. It's like, let's say you think of yourself as a computer and you realize that huge chunks of you, your person, your life, your world are obsolete and redundant, and they're just going to essentially fall away like leaves, like bark on a tree, and weather and evolution, and brand new paradigms are going to start to unfold in front of you. And some of those might feel as though they're imposed upon you in a very kind of fateful way. Some of those might feel as though you're taking very deep, close personal responsibility for the new formatting and the new programming that is happening in your whole life, in your whole world around you. Like, it is a joint affair. It is a joint effort. Like, life comes at you and you are integrating with life. Okay, it's simultaneously, and in the process, a whole new set of commandments is starting to ferment, come into being for you, and that affects your whole life, including love and relationship. What are you radiating? Okay, with the Four of Swords here, my feeling is that it might be like, you see the little Two of Cups here? They're not Two of Cups, but these, you can't see them. Even with the cards right in front of you, live in person, it's very, very hard to discern. But in this little stained glass window here is a deeply loving couple. Okay? These are two people who deeply cherish each other, deeply love each other. And they are like gifts to each other. And their whole lives are like a kind of a kaleidoscope, and where they're seeing things come closer and closer together in a reality, but it's like all these components of life constitute life. And so for you, it feels to me, Taurus, like what's happening for you is that you're becoming much more clear, much more aware, and everything is becoming more crystallized, sharp, more and more sharp focus as this images starts to grow and manifest into something bigger. And it's very, very healing for you. And it's an indication that you can actually take full advantage of this. And what you are radiating is the energy of deep self-healing here, deliberately putting yourself in that posture of laying down arms, laying down the tools of life, so to speak, in terms of what you think, how you think, where you expect things to go, and just accepting and receiving what is happening. To me, it looks very much like you are deliberately doing that Star Wars thing where you lay down the sword and you just let stuff happen to you. It's like die before you die. So it feels to me like this is a very, very powerful ingredient in your world, around your surroundings right now, and you have no choice except to surrender to the experience, treat the whole thing as divinely blessed, and that you ultimately will receive radical healing and changes from all of this, including in love and relationship. And it's also an indication here that you do need healing in the context of love and relationship, and that you are asking for healing, and that you are looking for the chance to set down any kind of external conflicts and put yourself more and more into a position of a deeply healing relationship. That's what you are seeking. That's what you're radiating. It's like, I'm radiating this. This is what I would like in return. A lot of healing in the context of a soulmate relationship. And from the Tarot Lumination perspective, some of the most profound healing and certain types of healing can only occur in the context of a deeply loving soulmate relationship. You can have all sorts of other things in this world. You can have cars, careers, heroic achievements, amazing awareness, like success at this and that. And love and relationship is just one component of life. But it looks like here, this is a big decision to make a deeply loving soulmate relationship that is got healing at the core of it, is fundamental for you now, Taurus. Let's have a look over here. And this is amplified and returned to you. Oh gosh, I'm feeling all kind of like, excuse me, a little choked up about it right now. I'm sorry, I don't know why. To me, it feels like this is a call for healing at the deep soul level. And this is the response. This is healing showing up for you at the deep soul level. This is one of the most powerful healing cards. Temperance card is almost like the healer itself, where it's the whole art of bringing things that are out of alignment and bringing them back into balance, into alignment, almost like being like a doctor itself. Okay, this is like literally the healing power of love coming into your life. your body, your mind, your heart, and soul from up above. Like, you asked for this, Taurus. This is what you're getting it. Okay. So in a way, I see you as being extremely lucky in this thing right now. How that actually shows up or works for you in your physical life and world, I have no idea. You could reinterpret this however you want, but I see this happening at a very deep, profound soul level, and it's happening at the gateway period of Uranus into Taurus. So I'm very happy for you. I see this as beyond love. I see this as deep soulmate love, where one of the core themes of Tarot Lumination, which is all about bringing the healing power of love into our lives from up above, is actually manifesting here for you, Taurus, at the very, very early days. Okay, let's have a look deep in the heart of you. Okay, well, with the Hermit here, it feels to me again that this is a very, what you might, other people, anyone could call a very fated situation, where you know you have to go on this journey. There is no choice anymore. It's not like you can tell Uranus, excuse me, I'm occupied right now. Would you mind just going retrograde for a couple of more years? Or in fact, let's just bypass the whole Taurus transit for a while and go, go into Gemini, and I can get back to my life. No, what's happening here, it feels to me at the deep soul level, you realize that you're going to be going on a journey of deep discovery at the soul level in a way that can only happen in a context of a deeply loving relationship. I know that sounds very contradictory or counterintuitive, but again, certain things can only happen in the context of a loving, committed relationship, okay? So to me, it's almost like a deep, deep soul yearning to discover who I really am. What is my purpose? What is my mission? Who am I? Why am I here at the deep soul level? I need to know that now, and it's only going to happen in the context of this type of relationship. It's very profound. That's what I'm feeling here. And it's part of the journey is so that through the process of deep soul healing and deep reflection from a significant other who is there for you in that way, this will allow you to actually go on your journey. Think of the Uranus and Taurus journey over the next 7 years as perhaps encapsulated in this card, so that you can feel that it's literally like a healing journey. It's like the healing power of love is actually filling your life from up above in the context of a love relationship here. So it is specifically and privately your journey, but it is happening in the context of a deeply loving relationship. Let's have a look at the other. Okay. Now, my feeling here with the Emperor, this is all these, what is going on? Look at all these arcana here. Look at this. Look at this Taurus here. To me, this is kind of an indication that we're dealing with matters way above and beyond your typical astrology reading or typical tarot reading, where we're dealing with like really profound forces of the universe and nature out there. Think of it, what's happening on the globe right now with the ingress of Uranus and Taurus, all the volcanoes in Hawaii, the big sinkholes, the massive discovery of the pollution at the very deepest part of the ocean. All these things, cataclysmic, mind-boggling weather events that we haven't witnessed in thousands of years, all of that is happening now. My feeling here is that you're aware of it in a very simple, serene, pure way, but it's also very, very big around you. It's like when you are a little child and you're witnessing the very first like hurricane or tornado or tsunami or thunderstorm. So that it's just something so big and so much more massive than you. All you can do is sit there in awe and wonder and handle it and just deal it and just accept that this is life. And it's very, very humbling. So my feeling here with the Emperor from the other side is that you're dealing with someone or relating with someone who has to me, it feels what I'm praying for is that this is very wholesome for you, and that this is the energy of absolute power, absolute commitment, absolute dominion, absolute determination for this to work for you. Okay, because it's very beneficial for them. It's almost like they don't have a problem or an issue in their own right. It's almost like They are here for this purpose. They are like in alignment in their own majestic version of themselves, just as you are here. Only I feel like, again, please don't take this um, too personally. I'm not trying to hurt any feelings here, but it feels like for you, dear Taurus, to experience this journey yourself to the extreme levels that you are demanding or that are going to happen as you go through these massive like awakenings over the next 7 years, uh, where you're going to discover more and more about who you are at the soul level as a journey, so you can become your own guiding light in terms of absolute truth, knowledge, and awareness, like your own spiritual GPS. You are attracting someone who is in some ways already that way. They have absolute mastery and control over these matters in terms of, there's nothing ambiguous here. It's not like, oh, like, I don't know if they really got their act together. This is absolute power. This is absolute, let's say, what I'm feeling is absolute power, commitment, and living by example. In other words, there's no pity here. There's no mercy. There's no, it's almost like there's no escape either. It feels to me like, in other words, Taurus, this is what you needed. This is what you asked for. This is what you've got. And now it's here, and it's here big time. And it must be in a response to you because you needed the deep soul healing big time. So now you've got it. And they're living by example. They're not going to pander to you or cave into any sentimentality here. It looks like they are going to be very, very strong and there for you in a way that you're going to need in order for you to like go through your own awakening. In other words, Taurus, you can't afford to have anybody weak by your side during this because there's so much at stake here for you. Let's have a look at the core. Okay, because what's at stake is happiness. It is joy. It's almost like whatever is not joyful in your life, whatever is not working in your life, it's already like set aside in some ways, psychically, spiritually, emotionally, and now you're at the point where you need healing so you can get to this, where ultimately what really, really counts as far as you're concerned is to own that happiness at the core of a relationship, where the relationship itself is built and made out of happiness, and the only way to get there is through this journey, this deep soul healing journey. In other words, this card would not be here. It could not be here without a deep loving commitment to this and someone like this responding and coming into your life to respond to your need for deep soul healing, because that's effectively the let's say the rewrite of the new codes coming to you that has to happen in order for the ownership of happiness to happen inside of you. So it's unambiguous, unequivocal. There's no doubt about it. You are coming over. It looks to me like this reading has a bit of an extrapolation above and beyond June, because the cards are so heavy and rich and big and vibrant and powerful for you. And I think it's no coincidence that this is happening right now at the ingress of Uranus and Taurus. So it's almost like learning through an intense journey, intense healing journey, what it actually takes to own happiness and to live happiness, and in a way that nobody can take from you, so that your sense of joy and happiness and love and healing is not contingent upon this or that, or your worldly success. You own it from the deep inside out at the core. And so the relationship itself becomes symbolic of owning your happiness from the inside. Like this person over here is certainly not embarrassed. They are completely like self-determined in that it's like they're already a healer in their own way. They're already the complete master of their universe in their own way, and there's no apologies for that. Their problem is like, why they can't understand why no one else is this way, why so many people have it so hard to be this way. So it's almost like they're there for you, you get to be there for them, so that they get to enjoy the journey as well, where they get to be a participant in a deeply loving, happy relationship where they can own and have and be their own source of happiness, and you can learn how to be and have your own source of happiness from the inside. By definition, let's have a look at prospects over here. Oh, wow. Well, let's get down to earth a little bit here, Taurus. You know you are Earth. It looks to me that once this starts to get into the flow, we're looking sort of almost like at wedding bells here. So I'm kind of happy for you, Taurus. I don't know who this is or what's going on here. It looks to me like they're very lucky in their own way to have you, and you're extremely lucky in your own way to have them. Very different people coming at this relationship from very different perspectives, very different angles. But look at this. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. And it is because remember, this is your reading, Taurus. It's not for couples. We're just including their energy. And how does this impact you in the context of a love relationship? Okay. So please go back, allow for this, the Hierophant energy at the beginning. What I'm sensing here is that between the both of you, it's a complete reboot, revision, rewrite of love and relationship from the ground up. And it's very profound, and it's powerful, it's irreversible. And if you translate all that like soul, Tarot Lumination talk stuff, turn it back into 3D life, like person A, person B, how is this going to work out? Well, in conventional worldly terms, it would look like something other people would say, oh, they're a happy couple. It looks like they're going to get married. They'd make a really good mates. Something like that. And that could be shared openly, publicly with others. Something to be celebrated where you feel like you are one with the other and the other feels like they are one with you. And to the rest of the world, that would look like a couple who are happy and who are celebrating their happiness and formalizing their happiness in terms of an engagement, which might turn into a marriage. So this is kind of beautiful. I'm very happy for you, Taurus. It's very profound. It looks very profound, very extreme, but it's also very good. So you must be doing something right somewhere in your world, Taurus, to be attracting this and to have this type of energy potential at the core here. So I do see a lot of love. I do see a lot of love for you, Taurus. All right, I hope this works for you. Watch your sun, moon, and rising, and maybe watch, do the cross watching for your significant others. So if I can speak properly, snignificative. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Taurus. See you next month. Bye-bye.